Nobody's listening, right? Hi, Andy.
Hello.
Is anybody listening?
Yeah, this one was from Abby on Spotify. I'm in med school and have a pulmonary exam next week, and the comments on tuberculosis made me die laughing. Thanks for being a podcast that's so easy to listen to and helps me relax on study breaks.
Oh, now I have to wonder.
Yeah.
Was she dying laughing because we sound like such idiots?
I wasn't really weighing in on it. Yeah. This would be all you.
That's
sure.
really great. I mean, I'm blown away by, like, our listeners are so intelligent. We have a NASA person listening.
Yep.
We have a pulmonary med student listening.
Yeah.
I'm very, is plussed?
Plussed or something like that?
Well, there's non-plussed, but
Non-plussed?
what's the word? I'm very, like...
Jazzed.
Jazzed.
I mean, listen, you throw in medical school or doctor on a review on iTunes or Spotify, and I'm probably going to read it. I'm just saying because it tickles us. And I hope you crushed it on your exam.
Yes.
You know?
By the way, shout out to several people and a few couples reached out and said, well, a listener posted a story on Instagram that they were listening to us while doing their egg retrieval.
Oh.
And then another couple said, wait, is this a thing? We did the same thing yesterday.
Wow.
And then another person responded to that and said, I did it during, like, implantation or something. And so I just want to say we're very happy to be there with you during these exciting times. And we hope everyone has awesome results, because I know that is
Stressful.
Yes.
Absolutely. Look at us helping. I wasn't going to say helping. Helping's not the right word.
Are we helping anything? I don't know. But
what I'm getting at is we're entrenched in medicine right now.
Oh, this is the segue you were hoping and dreaming for.
I need to have a quick health corner update with you.
Okay, let's do it.
But do we have any business we need to take care of real quick?
Just wanted to shout out our amazing patrons over at patreon.com/nobody's listening right. And we hope that you enjoyed our last, not free, they're paying.
Yeah, as you
our
like
last
to say.
bonus episode.
Which you pointed out to me in full disclosure. I haven't read all the comments, but I saw one pop up on my watch that I saw a glimpse of it. And you told me that people really... We kind of got into a real legit argument on that last episode, and it really resonated with people.
Well, I don't know. I think you saw one of the few comments. I also think...
I don't want to get in an argument with you right now.
Well, I think there's no argument to be had. I was a little pissy that day or something, and I was in the wrong. And actually...
Oh, that's not why I was bringing this up.
This should be more for our Patreon episode, but anyway, we'll get into that then.
But I just want to say... I just thought that was interesting if anyone wants to check it out.
Oh, okay.
Because it resonated, and it's not something necessarily we would have ever thought, not that we're ever thinking what's going to resonate and what's not, but it was like surprising sort of.
Right.
People were delighting in our
uneasiness.
Again,
I wouldn't say the overall vibe was delighting, because I think you might take it that way, but I was definitely in the wrong.
Oh,
and
well,
so
this is even
hard.
Another boom for me.
Yes. Okay, let's get into...
Patreon.com/nobody's listening right.
Great. Let's get into Health Corner.
Okay, so off and on for the past year, I've had some tingling in my right leg. It really bothered me about a year ago, so much that I went to the doctor, but the doctor said, let's see what happens in a week. Maybe it was like a pulled muscle or nerve or something, and it did sort of go away. But it's been coming back and forth off and on. I started noticing it again and some other stuff. So I went to the doctor, 3 weeks ago maybe, about? And the doctor ordered an MRI for me. This was right after our St. Louis Arch trip. So
yes.
I am stressing out.
Wait, we also had 2 other things happening that were stressful or anxiety inducing. Oh, yeah, I remember what they were. One was we were recording something for another project that was like I don't know, we were feeling like, oh my gosh, what's this going to be like?
Yeah.
And then also waiting on a phone call that was kind of anxiety
Oh, you're just
inducing.
talking about that day.
Yes.
Huge day because I had to get up early, go to the MRI. Then we had
And
a
you were holding it
recording.
together in such a way. And I was like, aren't you nervous? And having just talked about the arch and having had multiple MRIs myself,
Yeah.
and this is your first one,
First ever.
I, of course, didn't want to explain it to you because I thought that would only make it worse. But I was like, how are you so chill about this? Like, you do, I didn't say this, but I'm like, you do know you go into a tiny, tiny tube.
So when I made the appointment, the person taking the appointment asked, are you claustrophobic? And I said, a little bit. And she said, okay, we'll put you in the big thing. There's a name for it, the bigger one.
The big kahuna.
The big kahuna. So that day, I'm really nervous. It's a very early appointment, but I'm freaking out just because of the recent arch experience in the tiny trams. That really scared me. So I get there, walk in. Lady could not have been nicer.
Oh, great.
I told her straight up, hey, I'm pretty nervous about this.
Yeah.
And she was like, there's nothing to be worried about.
Did you have the button?
I had to ask about the button. She wasn't like forthcoming about the button, but then she told me and she said, hey, since you're my first of the day, let's test the button together. So that was nice.
Oh, that's great.
So I get to the thing and I'm like, this is not the big thing. To me, it doesn't look big. Later, you tell me it must have been the big thing.
Well, yeah, I said, how to go. And I said, how far away from, because you kind of mentioned, I don't think I was in the big one. And I was like, how far away from your nose was it? And you were like, what? And I was like, because the MRI machine I've been to I'm doing it for YouTube, is like 2 inches from my nose.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a tight squeeze.
Yeah. So
but I actually like the MRI because to me, it feels like cocoon-like, and they give you kind of warm blankets and they have air blowing on you. So it doesn't, did you have air blowing on you?
No.
So the air really helps to make you not, as long as your eyes aren't open, to make you feel like you're not in a tube with the thing right there.
Mine was open on both sides. Is that normal?
No.
Okay, so I could see through the other end.
Oh, you mean you can see your feet, but it's not open on your sides.
No. It's like a tube. So open at my head and open at my feet.
I don't know if I don't think the head part was open, but you can't even raise your head enough to see your feet. Like,
whoa. Okay. So this is not it turns out I am in the big one, which is still too small for me.
okay.
So I had about like a foot above my head. Anyways, I'm still freaked out. They slide me in. She puts on the big headphone things.
Yes.
And she said, hey, there's nothing we can do about the noise, though. This helps. Right? And I'm thinking, okay, you had told me before that you listen to music while you do it.
Yeah, they gave me music.
I don't get anything like that.
Oh.
They crank this puppy on. It is comical how crazy the fucking noises are.
Yeah.
And it's like different type of alarm noises going off throughout the whole time. Yeah. Like, I wish someone had prepared me for that. That's like the scariest thing of all of it. Like, and they kept changing how the different noises, like, it'd be one thing if it was like two noises that kept happening, but it was different. It was insane.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't mention the noises, but again, I don't know. Once you've done it, you kind of assume that other people know what it is.
I told her it was my first, and I wish she would have said, like, this is going to be the weirdest, most alarming, scary noises we could ever dream up for this experience for somebody. I mean, the only thing worse would have been like people screaming at me.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I've gotten both of my MRIs at Cedars.
Yeah.
Great medical
Yeah.
establishment.
Yep.
And I think it's a little more like Lux.
Well, this is Cedars affiliated, but
they give you calming music in the headphones. There's like warmed up blankets so you feel cozy. There's air blowing at you so you feel like you don't have this thing 2 inches from your nose.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of fall asleep, honestly.
That's amazing. How long mine was only about 10 minutes. What's the longest one you've ever done? Because I assume it depends on how much stuff you're getting checked out.
Probably like 25 minutes. Yeah.
So to get to the result, it does turn out I got a little situation going on. I wrote it down. I have a moderate to severe disc collapse and some central spinal stenosis.
Mm-hmm.
So my right leg is tingly, numb.
You also have like the disc that's collapsed, which is your L4, L5,
Yeah.
is bulging out a little tiny amount on your right side.
Yes.
So it's like 3 millimeters.
Yeah.
For my disc was herniated and it was like 7 or 8 millimeters out. So luckily you're not in pain, but it's very annoying and you're not getting sleep because it's so annoying.
So this is where I'm getting worried. The experience you went through, I watched you go through, was horrible and so much pain. And also my father, for years and years, has had back problems. And as you know, in the last 2-3 years, it's gotten really bad. And he's had some different procedures and whatnot that have provided different amounts of relief. So I called him yesterday and we were just catching up on all things. And I obviously told him about this. And he went into his history. And I found out how all of his back problems began, which I didn't know. So his issue started when he was in the Army, okay? Playing tennis.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
He's in the Army at a naval base in Corpus Christi. There was something where I think the Army was like taking over this naval base. So there were both Army and Navy people there. And he said he was playing tennis with an Army buddy. And these like 2 naval officers came up and challenged them to a doubles match.
Navy versus Army.
And he said he went for a backhand. And the way he explained it, which I thought was kind of cute, he went for a backhand and then the wind blew and the ball like kind of jutted out a little bit away from where
I'm sure the wind had a big part in this.
he used that twice, actually.
He did not.
Yeah, well, this is going to blow your mind.
Okay.
And so anyways, he misses the ball, twists in a weird way,
Yeah.
racket flies, and he falls down. And he's like, that's when all my issues began, that moment.
And did he feel something in that moment, or is he just like, then an ache started or something, or was it a big like, oh my God?
He knew he fucked shit up.
Okay.
And his first symptom was numb thigh, which is what I have a lot, which I'm like, oh, that sucks. His second big injury was then when we were living in St. Louis, playing tennis with our neighbor, Mr. Reish. Okay. And same exact thing. Same exact tennis accident, wind, backhand, fall.
No.
So bad that he didn't go into work the next day, which he said was very rare for him. And he's like, I will never, ever forget this. I woke up that morning and I needed to go to the bathroom, and it took him 4 hours to get from the bed to the bathroom. He was in so much pain. And then I grew up with him just my entire life knowing his back was fucked up. He always wore like a big weight belt when he did any sort of work. When we would go canoeing, he would wear it. He always had crazy pillows in his cars and stuff.
I did not know this was like, I thought this was a relatively recent.
No, I think it just got really bad in these recent years. But so I grew up knowing like, oh, back pain kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It scares me that it's all tennis related for my dad. And it scares me what you've gone through. And it also, let's be really honest, your dad passed away playing tennis.
I know. I was thinking like last week when we were talking about your tennis injury.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I dip in this well so often, but I wanted to make the joke about like, well, tennis already took the most important man in my life. I'm not going to stand by and watch it take the next most important, my now most important man in my life.
This is all I'm thinking about yesterday, though, when I'm talking to my dad. Even since last week, I feel like your passion for tennis has grown since last week. We played on your birthday. We had so much fun.
Yeah.
But if we zoom out, the world's telling us not to play tennis.
Well, this is what I was going to say.
Okay.
I know that you've recently started enjoying tennis, as have I. I do know that tennis is not a great thing for disc stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, that's like a risk you have to weigh, obviously. But having been in the pain I was in, I really feel like if the price you and I have to pay to not experience that
Yeah.
is never playing tennis again, I'm okay with that.
Me too. It's a big bummer, but I feel like a conversation I realized yesterday we needed to have after talking to my dad. I was just
Wow.
like, am I fucking, because, and he did the setup to me too of like, it was back when I was in the army playing tennis. I was like, what?
Well, and another thing is we should avoid playing, at the very least, playing in windy areas.
Can I tell you one other real quick army story my dad told me that blew my mind? I
Yes.
forgot to tell you this.
I love this.
So they were in training and they were doing grenade training. Have I ever told you the grenade story?
No, but I want to hear this.
Yeah, well, yeah. Everyone wants to hear a crazy grenade story.
Yeah.
So they're in the I'm imagining like the little like bunker thing where, you pull the pin and you throw it and then you probably duck down and it's out and whatever, right? Huck it as far. So he's with some new guy. My dad's at whatever level that he's like he's not the like supervising officer. I'm sure I'm getting all the terminology wrong.
Sure.
But he's supervising like the newbies, if you will, right? So he's with one guy showing him what to do. And he said, so the guy pulls the pin, and as soon as he pulls the pin, drops the grenade on the ground at their feet.
Oh my God.
Real bad stuff.
Not what you want.
Not what you want. So fortunately, I believe either my dad or the guy, fumble and grab it, throw it, the thing goes off midair.
Oh my God.
It's horrible. And my dad said that the real supervisor guy there lost his goddamn
Well, yeah, he almost lost 2 men just in training.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's a small story, but that's crazy.
God, I really wish, your dad was in the army. He never served.
Yeah, he didn't go, it was more
because of the timing.
Yeah, but he got pulled out. I forget what the conflict was, but he did his time or whatever and then was back at work, but then got called back into active duty, he said, for like a year. That's when he went down to Texas for
training and
stuff, more training and whatnot.
I really wish I had more stories from my dad about, he did 2 tours. Is a tour a year? Like he was in Vietnam for 2 fucking years.
It's crazy.
I'm glad that you're hearing these stories. I feel like you want to get these stories.
I know, and I have to write them down. I feel weird saying this out loud. I don't think my dad listens to podcasts, and if he does, maybe he'll take heed on this. I got him what I thought was the coolest gift. Mm-hmm. What's it called? Story
by, or it's basically a writing prompt. And we should say your dad is a writer.
He's a writer. He tells
writes
great
children's stories that your mom, who's been a teacher for 30 years, has read to her 1st and 2nd grade classes, and they're always super excited to hear them. So your dad is a writer, and this would seem to be the perfect gift, but...
Whoa, this is all coming full circle.
Okay.
So anyways, every week you get a prompt and you write down a story based on that prompt. And then at the end of the year, this company makes it into a big book.
And it's all about your life. It's memoir prompts. The favorite gift I ever received was, and then you write the story of it. And so it's a great way, kind of what we're saying,
to have all this stuff documented.
Right.
And I especially was so excited because I know how good of a writer my dad is. Here's how it's coming full circle, though. When I checked in, after I noticed he hadn't done it in a few months after I gave him, when I checked in with him about it, he was like, I'm not in the place to do it right now. I'm in so much pain.
Oh, wow.
I totally forgot about that. Anyways, I love you, Dad, if you're hearing this.
Would love a few, see if we can get some of those cracking.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
But so, okay, just to put this to bed. I guess we don't have to make any huge tennis declarations right now. I'm going to go start PT with the PT person you love. I'm going to get some info from them. I'm seeing my doctor in a month. Maybe it's not done, but is it done?
It might be done. I mean, even us talking about this, like, I can start to feel mine. Mine has never gone away 100%. And in fact, when I had kind of a setback a year and a half ago, probably.
Yeah. I think less than that.
No, I was going to say maybe more even.
Really?
But I went and got another MRI, and it has like herniated, or not herniated, it's like rebulged. So it's, in a precarious position. But then with this amazing physical therapist, shout out Dr. Maddie, it got like to probably 85%. And then I've been doing Pilates, which really helps. And so I don't want to risk messing it up. I love Pilates. I love walking. Tennis was a fun jaunt. I think I'm cool with it.
I've been loving it so much lately. But it might be over.
Yeah.
Just got a group of guys together
I
lately,
know.
playing
It was like
doubles.
your social circle. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's move on. But isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I mean, the universe is definitely screaming at you. Tennis is not.
And
for
we
you.
don't want the universe to be like, do I have to up the ante here? Like, how obvious do I have to fucking be, dipshit?
Right. Listen to it when it's
like
it's been whispering to you, and now it's screaming. I mean, your wife's father died. It's a brutal sport. It killed my dad. It's hurt your knee already.
Fucked up my dad's back for his entire life.
Yeah. Not as big of a thing as killing my dad, just so it sounded like you were saying that as a one-up.
No.
No.
I would never.
Let's just be clear.
Let me tell you how wrong I'm taking these cues, though, also. When I took that big fall a couple weeks ago, I'm bragging about it on the podcast. I'm bragging about it to you. I'm telling everybody how much of a champion.
Luring me into sex with it.
Yeah. I told our kids, hey, kids, I want you to know, you see my knee, you see how banged up I'm a tennis champ. Like, I am literally, in the universe, is like, you fucking dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like, you're reading this wrong, bro.
Right.
Okay.
Speaking of universe, can we talk about aliens for a moment?
Yeah. You're bringing up aliens? I'm here.
Okay. Nobody sent me this video, and I don't know if this is recent or what.
Oh, it is. I know what you're talking about. The Canadian guy?
Yes. I do feel like these things now are happening so often, and we're so kind of programmed to hear. If you hear about aliens or UFOs or extraterrestrials, you're just like, okay. And so I think it doesn't make like front page news because there is such a big skepticism. I mean, I think the Venn diagram of people who are like, it's aliens and psychics and like astrologers, it's all pseudoscience bullshit.
Sure.
I'm not listening to it, even if like real people are coming out and saying, whatever.
Even the one example you're going to use, a lot of these are from, and I'm saying it, I mean, I shouldn't be in air quotes, credentialed people, but they are like, oh, this guy served on this legit thing, which is definitely the case for this Canadian guy, right?
Yes.
He's an old timer.
Okay, so Paul Hellyer recently stirred up global controversy when he testified before a half dozen former U.S. representatives that aliens exist as Canada's former Minister of Defense. He is the first and only cabinet-ranking official from a G8 nation to publicly state a belief in extraterrestrials.
So that's pretty big credentials.
Big credentials. Now, what he says is amazing.
Yeah.
And in pulling this up, it's actually from 9 years ago, and it's just recently resurfaced. So that's ding one against it.
Fuck.
Ding two against it is as we start to read into this, I'm like, this guy just might be nuts. He's definitely like the most top-ranking official from a G8 country to claim publicly that there are aliens. He does it in a way that's so matter-of-fact that it's hard not to believe.
Love that.
But he basically, the way he described who the aliens are, he said they're short grays.
Okay.
Which are like shorter gray aliens. They're aliens that look like cartoon characters. And then there are Nordic blondes.
Yes.
And they can be amongst us and you could never tell they're not humans.
So.
And I think this is setting off alarm bells for you know, I think in the last 9 years, we've spiraled so much deeper into conspiracy theory land where it's much more acceptable and even revered for people to be conspiracy theorists that this resurfacing, I fear, is going to make so many people walking around thinking other humans are Nordic blondes.
Well, okay, so when I heard that, the Nordic blondes, the first thing I went to, do you remember there was a woman that was somehow in like one of your improv comedy worlds in New York. I can't remember which one.
Okay.
She was really attractive, but I said like alien attractive.
She's hot alien, yes.
And over the years, we've had that conversation. There are these like blonde, hot aliens type of beauty, which I hear about Nordic blonde aliens. I'm like, that was an alien. Like that woman was an alien.
No, she wasn't. She was so nice and is.
But
She's still, unless she's gone back to the mothership.
But why couldn't they be nice and awesome?
Well, so this man, Paul Hellyer, says that the aliens are light years ahead of us in technology. Duh.
Yeah.
That they want to help us become more green and actually want to help us with like climate change stuff.
Yeah.
But are scared that if they reveal who they are, we'll have a conniption fit. And they're concerned about our use of atomic bombs and stuff, so they see us as a threat to like the cosmos, basically, which we are, and we're a threat to ourselves.
But are we to the cosmos? Like, aren't we just like such a small thing in the cosmos?
We are.
Like if we blew up ourselves?
Well, but then this is the part, let me just say.
Yeah.
When this is where you start to go, which...
Let me decide that for myself.
Okay.
Don't set me up to feel that way.
He claims to have seen a UFO, but when asked what it was like, he just said, it just looks like a star. And then he added, the Star of Bethlehem is one of God's flying saucers.
Oh, bro.
But I'm kind of like, I hope there are aliens out there who can come and kind of right our wrongs. You know, Mike Castle recently sent me an article that was about, because I posted this horrifying story from Jessica Yellen on Instagram had posted Pete Buttigieg in this thing about climate change, I think in the House, one of the House of Representatives, has all of these conservative reps like trying to mock him and being idiots and going like, yeah, I believe in climate change. It's called autumn. And he's like, what?
Oh,
and he's like, the climate changing right now is called autumn. And Pete keeps his cool in such an amazing way and kind of like takes him down in a way, the only way you can, but it's also like, fuck you. I mean, it makes my blood boil. But Mike Castle sent me this thing that there are technologies that people are trying to use, which is releasing gases into the atmosphere that reflect the sun's rays so that like that heat isn't going to come in and continue heating up our Earth.
Okay.
Now it's problematic in a couple ways. First of all, like the idea of trying to undo the harm we've done by doing more seems
because we don't know what that would do to other stuff, you mean?
Well, they're testing what it will do, and there are some issues with it. But basically, at one point in time in Earth's history, like huge volcanoes erupted and essentially did the same thing. It's like sulfur gas was released into the atmosphere, and it cooled the Earth down like 2 degrees.
Okay.
So this would be in much smaller doses, obviously. It would be like very small amounts of this comparatively. Yeah. But at least it could offset some of the warming that's happening and slow it down at least. But there are some issues with it. One, it seems that if too much is released, it can basically stop or limit rain and snowfall. Like there are problems.
You just saying this, I'm like, we're gonna fuck this up big time.
Well, so that's why I'm like, I welcome Nordic blondes. And also they're very beautiful.
Why can't they hook it up? Why can't they tell us like,
yeah,
hey, this is what you guys need to do? Come fix our shit, Nordic blondes.
I know. Many of us are very friendly. And I don't know about this Bethlehem shit, though. and God, bringing God into the picture. Oof.
Or was he sort of being like, God is an alien and the star was a UFO? I don't know.
I don't know.
That's weird.
Okay. Do you want to talk about my hero status?
I'm sorry I didn't even bring that up.
I know.
I'm really sorry.
I hate that I had to just bring it up. It feels grotesque, but
It's okay,
it seemed like you weren't going to.
No, I wasn't.
You don't have it written down?
I don't think I have it written down.
That really hurts my feelings.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. It was just if I don't write it down in the moment, I must have forgotten to write it down. I wouldn't remember to, so.
Well, it's like a huge, huge, huge part of my life right now.
You have been battling for years, months, a year, the goddamn assholes that drive like maniacs at a particular intersection on the way to the school our kids go to.
Yes.
And you've had, unfortunately, many terrible run-ins.
Terrible. So it was to the point where we were avoiding that intersection,
Yes.
even though it adds a really good amount of our walk time to school. And this all started because we had a crossing guard there.
Yep.
Now, through my hellish experience through the depths of Dante's Inferno, through the red tape of bureaucracy bullshit, I have learned it's not LAUSD that controls where crossing guards are. It's LA Dot. LA Dot, I'm sure well-meaning, but very wrong traffic engineer at one point in time decided that intersections with stop lights get priority over intersections with stop signs, which
For crossing guards?
to get crossing guards.
Okay.
Which makes no sense to me. I think that stop lights, at least you have light and a time where people cross and time where cars actually stop at stoplights.
Yeah.
So anyway, this has been like, I am 100 emails deep with LA Dot. I'm probably 65 phone calls in with LA Dot, city council, neighborhood council, parent teacher association, like all of it.
You're in it so much that you mentioned last week there was potential for you to run for
That's right.
to be a part of this neighborhood council or something.
That could have been my way into a political career.
Right.
So lo and behold, a few days ago, we get a text. Now, there's also a group text of parents in the neighborhood. We get a text from our dear friend. There is a crossing guard.
There is a crossing
I
guard.
fucking lost my shit. Yeah. I felt like it was Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Traffic, Christmas morning. I grabbed the kids, yanked them out of the house, and ran down there so fast. Not only do we have our crossing guard back, it's the one that was there before.
Amazing.
Who we love.
Yeah.
I don't think she remembers us at all, but we were overjoyed to see her.
That's okay. It's been a long time.
And I will say I'm really glad because...
That she didn't remember you?
No. I'm obviously really glad. What was nice was the neighborhood seems to know that this was my hard work paying off. Where very easily could have just been like, oh, the crossing guard's back.
You got all the credit.
I got all the credit.
You got a lot of credit, we should say.
I think I deserve it. Now, did someone specifically say to me, this is due to your work? No. But I have been ramping up my onslaught recently of emails and calls as school has gotten back into session and being on strike and not really having a way to funnel my rage. I've put it really a lot towards this.
Yes.
So I have to think it was me.
I think you take the W and just run with it and enjoy all the kudos that are coming along with it and celebrate this moment and celebrate the safety for all these kids that now are so much safer at this fucking horrendous intersection.
Now, you did make it. This is so how you work. I'm basking in this glow. Truly, every morning going to school now, I'm in a good mood.
Oh, beautiful.
You immediately, like I have one day of this, and then you say, you cannot lose your hero status. Like, how are you going to hold on to your hero status? Because all of the parents are like congratulating me and thanking me, and I don't know that I can.
Hold on to it?
Yeah, it seems like too tall of an order. And the only ways, yeah, I don't think I can. I think I just take the W and then go back to regular old
You could
me.
start some sort of TikTok account that's really just school crosswalk content that you're in or something if you want to really go. But hey, your efforts will not be forgotten anytime soon.
Thank you.
And I'll do my best to remind people when it's appropriate.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Thank you. Thank
What
you
a
very
win.
much.
What a win.
Huge.
Huge.
And you know what's interesting? I mean, truly, I'm in a good mood walking to school. I also had, like I said, I've kind of been funneling my rage towards that. We talked about the dog rescue last week.
Yeah.
This was kind of my new, like, outrage
Sure.
landing pad. And it's been going on for a year. And I don't think I realized the mental, like, static that was taken up. Because I like to keep my email inbox very trimmed down, and I file everything. I rarely have more than 30 emails.
Okay.
But I do keep active emails. So, like, a wedding invitation is there right now that's for November. And then
Okay.
after we attend that, I'll clear that out. Things like that, Descanso tickets, things like that are in there. That has remained on my landing page of email for a year.
Oh, wow.
And I got to clear that out, and I don't have to see it every day. And it feels fucking awesome.
You do have the constant reminder every morning
Yeah.
of this, which that's a win. That's it really will keep giving for the school year.
Yes, I'm thrilled.
I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
A couple weeks ago, we were having dinner. You went to do something, and I took it as an opportunity to get under the table and hide to scare you.
Yeah.
Which I like to scare you from time to time. I get a rush. I think we all do.
Yeah.
And you came in
Yeah.
and you started saying something to our daughter like, hey, honey, let's not. And it had this tone of like make fun of dad for something.
Yes.
Which I should have just stayed under the table and waited to hear what came out of your mouth. But I was in such shock, and I was so excited that I realized you didn't know I was under the table that I just jumped out and
scared the shit
you.
out of me.
But what were you about to say to our daughter? Do you remember?
Yes. Well, I don't know what exactly it was, but so you and I playfully tease each other from time to time and kind of rib each other.
Yeah.
And sometimes our daughter, wanting to get in on that action, will do the same. And you seem to be more of a like target for this sort of thing for some reason.
In her sights, for sure.
Which I actually think is a compliment. I think she feels safe kind of messing with you. But I think I had said something about how you were cutting your spaghetti, or there was something I'd given you a little shit about. You do cut things in a way that's not good. You tend to scrape it really hard on the bottom of the plate and against the fork. This is relevant. And I think I heard Teddy say something about how you were cutting your food. Like, she was basically parroting what I had said earlier.
Right.
And I was like, oh, he didn't take it well the first time. Like, I don't want her. I'm trying to help her, like, read the room. And I didn't want her to pile on this.
There's a lot of nuance to you and I taking each other down a peg or two that children don't understand yet.
Yes. For example, like if you and I have a pimple, we'll always be like, who's your friend? Do I need to do another place setting? One time you actually did make a tiny place setting for my
true?
Yes. Do you remember in Silver Lake?
Does that sound horrible or funny?
Well, we find it funny, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's true.
But I could see like you being like, "Oh, who's your friend? I didn't know we had company tonight," or whatever it was.
Right.
And then Teddy jumping on and being like, "Oh yeah, who is your friend? Wow, your friend," and going
Yeah.
on and not yet understanding kind of the nuance of timing and all,
Right.
which is I'm happy that she's learning it with safe people, but sometimes
Yeah.
I'm saying you, but I mean the collective we
Yeah.
are in a bad mood or like don't really want to get picked on.
Sure.
And I sensed that night that I had kind of taken a shot and it wasn't landing the
So it
way.
was like a take it easy on daddy
Yeah,
type
I was
thing.
like, hey, I know I sometimes tease daddy, but let's kind of, I was about to say, take it,
Yeah.
take it easy on him.
Yeah. Are we bad role models, do you think? Or no? Because I also feel like I can't think of a particular example, but there's been times where something will happen with the kids and maybe they are parroting us and it gets a huge laugh. And then you and I are like, hey, you guys, you don't ever do that to someone at school. Or do you know
Yes,
what I
yes,
mean?
yes,
Like
yes.
we have this moment where we're like,
Well, we're always worried about what they're going to repeat, and out of context, how it will sound or seem
right,
or whatever.
right.
But I feel
My
like,
dad was shaming my mom's pimple. We set an extra place setting at the dinner table. Might sound pretty messed up out of context,
yeah,
even in context, you know?
we have fun. I mean,
Right, right. That's all that counts.
but it is worth looking at a little bit. And part of it is, I'm going to be real right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
Neither you nor I love to be like told how to be or what to do.
Oh, sure. So we have to find humor sometimes to.
Exactly. Like for that example, and I will say, I grew up in a home where manners were like drilled into us and it was really important. And I resented it. And I went to like silver spoons class for like, how to. You didn't have that. And so there are some things that you just don't know that you like. But now I do appreciate how manners are there kind of for everyone's benefit and to like make things nicer for, this is a very basic one. Don't talk with your mouth full of food that we have to work on with our kids. Why are you laughing? I'm just saying.
Because I'm laughing because I feel like I heard our daughter recently say to you, like, have you noticed sometimes dad's like part of his mouth is kind of open when he chews? And I heard you say, well, he has a big tongue.
But that's true. I actually do think I kind of give you a pass on that because I do think
Oh,
you have a huge
God.
tongue. You can touch your nose with your tongue.
Yeah, yeah.
So, where was I going with this? Anyway, a very basic thing that we have to teach our kids, and I want us to model for our kids. Now, you don't frequently talk with your mouth full of food,
Yeah.
luckily, but let's say you did,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to be like a nag or the one harping on it, but it is important to me that our kids kind of learn these things.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, sometimes I like kind of tease you in a lovingly way. And
But-
you do it back to me about things.
I do too. And I think you're bringing up an interesting point of that flavor of teasing when it is a roundabout way to get at stuff that really irritates us about the other person.
Oh my God, you just said I was shooting daggers.
but I also want to be
What
clear.
does irritate you
Hold
so
on.
much?
I
Okay.
don't want to get off track here.
Okay.
But what we were talking about earlier too, though, isn't just that. I feel like most of our ribbing isn't
The real stuff?
like most of the fun, playful teasing we do isn't because deep down there we're trying to bring up these issues. I just want to clarify that because you pivoted into this thing and I'm like, oh wait. Is all
No.
you fucking with me like you're actually like
Trying to get somewhere?
yeah.
No.
Okay. I just
no.
want to clarify that because I got a little lost.
You have
with your pivot.
We both do. That was that specific example
Okay.
was that.
Sure.
But yeah, we usually tease each other. But I was thinking about, like we've talked about our parents' generation and the generation above them. there's this wave towards like kindness and compassion, and like compassion's being taught to our kids in a way it wasn't taught to us. Our parents' sense of humor oftentimes, like, to us seems really mean-spirited, where...
Yet ours is kind of mean-spirited.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But the teasing usually isn't mean-spirited, but I guess I could see... I wish we had a better example that wasn't, like you're saying, this... I guess the pimple one is a great example.
It's sort of, but also when you and I are arguing about something... This is a great example that our daughter pointed out. I think she's also fascinated by this type of communication that we have because we equal parts delight in it sometimes. Wasn't there something with the dishwasher recently? And she walked in and was like, oh, you're arguing about the dishwasher. But we were like jokingly arguing about it.
Yes,
was it the dishwasher or was it something else?
Yeah.
We were in the kitchen.
It was the dishwasher. Oh, I was asking if when you...
Oh. Okay,
this is kind of another example.
Your thesis, but let's go there.
So at the top rack of our dishwasher frequently has our kids' lunch Tupperwares and then also these water bottles of theirs that when you open the hot dishwasher or finished dishwasher, you have to flip over to kind of drain because some of the dishwasher water is like settled on the top or whatever. So it's a step in unloading the dishwasher that needs to be done a few minutes before you actually unload the dishwasher. And I had noticed a few times you had opened the dishwasher and not done the draining part. And so we were playfully like arguing about it, but not really. I mean, we weren't really upset with each other.
Right.
But Teddy, I mean, I think there's a lot of nuance. But hopefully, we hopefully are modeling? I don't know. Maybe a child psychologist. Maybe we have a doctor, a NASA scientist, and a child psychologist can weigh in on whether we're fucking our kids up or not. But I find that kind of like working through a minor conflict enjoyable.
Well, yeah,
it's
because
fun.
we legitimately were making the conflict fun for us.
Right.
Which
So
must
maybe
be
that is
a bit
good
of
modeling. I don't
mean,
know.
it's interesting that our daughter, who's older, is much more in tune to it and intrigued by it.
Yeah.
Where our son sometimes doesn't necessarily know if we're joking.
Have you noticed she's like interested in our dynamic in a
lately
new
a lot.
way? Like recently, you and I both realized that we both take pills the same way, which is that we both put the water in our mouths first and then the pills, which is, I think, the less common way of taking pills. I think most people put a pill in their mouth and then the water.
I would actually love to know if there's more of us out there that do the water first and then the pill.
Well, I'm sure there are people out there.
But
Maybe
like, what do you think
should
the percentage is?
Why don't you do one of those on Instagram?
Okay.
You can do the vote thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I fucking know about the polls.
Casey. So
what a gift that just was. Wow. We're horrible.
you would never say that in front of our
The
kids.
kids. Oh, yeah. Just to be clear. That's just for...
for us. But Teddy, we got so excited to learn that we both take pills the same way. We're like, really? And Teddy was like, why are you so excited to learn that?
But that's because we learned something about each other that is a similarity that we didn't... We've hung out with each other so much for 20 years.
Hey, I don't know why you're getting all worked up about it.
I was worried you were going to say it's for a different reason.
What? No. She was like, why are you so excited? And you said, well, because we've been together for so long.
That's what I just said.
Came at it really hot. Okay, whatever. Let's, that was fun.
I wanted to ask you if you've seen something that's crazy.
Okay.
Remember when we lived, when we were in Silver Lake, I feel like we would go to the Glendale Target. Do you remember that one? It's like 3 stories tall. This was like ages ago. Do you remember this?
Wait, like by the Americana?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love that Target.
You do?
Yeah, I still go there sometimes.
Bullshit. This is going to blow your mind then.
Okay.
I was there. Why was I there? I was there for something. I went to the mall and I was like, oh, I'll go to that Target. Hadn't been there in a while.
Okay.
I went to get some hand sanitizer and I get to that area and the hand sanitizer's out, but everything else in the aisle, shampoo, conditioner, shaving stuff is all locked up. All of it.
Locked up?
Yeah. And I'm like, that stuff? That seems weird. Occasionally you'll see a few things. Then I went to go get laundry detergent. All the cleaning supplies of that Target are locked up.
What?
And I'm thinking, I got a video of it.
Body cleaning, house cleaning, laundry cleaning.
Who the fuck is stealing laundry detergent, like running out of Target with laundry? Like, that's a hard thing to steal.
Well, let me ask you this. Are there employees, like, there in those aisles ready to help you?
No. It looked like the system that they had was like a call button if you needed help.
That is so fucking annoying.
I might post a video about this because I took a video of it. I've never seen anything like it. But it wasn't just like one thing. Or, you know, you'll see the razors locked up maybe or electronics. All of that stuff. And it seems to really fuck up the shopping experience.
Well, yeah.
But why are they doing that?
Well,
how bad must it be?
Honestly, it kind of breaks my heart. I mean, we were talking about this. It makes me sad because I'm like, well, yeah, fuck. People must be stealing basic needs. Mm-hmm. And you and I recently were talking about how insanely expensive groceries are.
Yeah, for sure. It's blowing my mind.
Of control.
Yeah.
And, you know, being in a situation, luckily you've been working a lot, but where we went from 2 incomes to 1, it's pretty sharp drop off for now going on 5 months, much more kind of conscientious about things.
I mean, I would even feel like for much of this strike, I was more at a 0.5 too for a little bit, you know, it was stressful.
Yes, stressful.
Yeah.
It is. It's hard to live here and make a living, and we are obviously very, very fortunate. And but even for us, it's you know, not you can't just not think about it,
right?
And that really makes me very sad. I think maybe we are in a really bad place if people are truly stealing. I mean, you hear about single moms having to steal fucking diapers and stuff, and I'm like, fuck everything.
Yeah.
Diapers should be free.
Right. Period
products should be free.
You say that, yeah.
Infant, like, formula should be fucking free. I don't, it makes me so mad.
It's so weird. It really took me aback because also I don't think of, I've been to, that's not the Target we go to. And our Target, I sure hope doesn't implement that because it's annoying and sad. Mm-hmm. But I don't think of that area of LA as like it just surprised me there that it's there. What's happening?
It's not like it's a middle upper class area. I mean, it's not.
And it's just really
interesting.
Blew my mind.
Speaking of expenses and stuff, and like I think that certain things should be way more taxed, and so that can kind of, what's it called when you subsidize?
Okay.
These other things that should be basic needs are met.
Yeah.
I was watching like Paul Hollywood's European. This is the point I'm at with my TV watching. Paul Hollywood's like European Adventure or something like that, where Paul Hollywood from the Great British Baking Show is like going to different European countries and talking about cars. Mm-hmm. And Singapore, is it Singapore? That's not a European country. Where is it? Mm-mm. Okay, there is a country somewhere where the cost of having a car and driving is so high. Like, any car costs $250,000.
What?
You pay a tax to drive it on the roads that is $100,000 a year. Their public transit system
must be
is
amazing.
So dialed in.
Yeah.
And people walk and bike, and I mean, it's just so easy to get around. Okay. And it's so, I mean, unless you're a millionaire, you're using it. Uh-huh. And it's super clean and it's a nice experience. And so their roads are virtually empty. There's no traffic and there's no pollution.
That's interesting. But I mean, that's not applicable to here.
Okay, can I tell you a few other things I learned from that show, and then we'll wrap it up?
God, yeah.
One is, the Michelin star?
Yeah. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit.
Well, maybe a little, but
I'm imagining there's a lot of campaigning going on, a lot of backdoor
there's
deals.
I think there's some of that. But did you know how it started?
Tire company.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
The Michelin Tire Company.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
This is like, when I think of a Michelin star, I obviously think of like very high-end, highfalutin, fancy prefix menu, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This was a way, genius, in the turn of the century, a way for a Michelin Tire Company to get more cars out there on the roads.
How?
And selling more tires. By saying, in all of these towns, here are the best restaurants that you want to get to. So get out there. We've scoured the nation. Like in France, this town has this restaurant. This town has this restaurant. So it basically started the concept of like long distance driving for pleasure. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because your thesis is they did this to sell more tires?
Yes.
Did tires
It worked.
Hold on. Did tires wear down much quicker then?
Yeah. Yes, of course.
This feels flimsy.
Oh, it's not.
Then back it up, kid.
I'm backing it up. Saying, we've done the legwork. You're going to want to go over here and over here. And it used to be that cars would only drive long distances to like haul things or to whatever. Mm-hmm. Now people were driving back and forth like hour-long treks to get to this restaurant to try it.
And tires are flying off the shelves.
Yes. Yes, Andy, it worked. It worked. Okay, the last little thing that I'm going to leave you with. Do you know in France?
Yeah.
In France, they like wine quite a bit.
Yeah.
And this was really interesting.
J'adore.
And the kids watched this part with me, which I think they were fascinated by this. There's something called a micro car in France.
Like the little smart cars?
Basically, it looks like that.
Okay.
It goes top speed of 27 miles per hour.
Okay.
Cannot go past 27.
We got that.
And like pedal to the metal, 27.
Yeah. Top speed.
You do not need a driver's license to drive one.
What?
Kids as young as 14 years old can drive it.
It's like a little go-kart.
Like elderly people who don't have their license can drive it. Because the premise is, how much damage can you really do at 27 miles per hour? So like little kids who are like, I need to run down to the boulangerie. I'll take my microcar or whatever. And then people also who have had DUIs and lost their licenses.
Can drive them?
Yes.
Really?
It's kind of a loophole to the whole DUI situation.
This still is happening now?
It is, yeah. It's there. Isn't that fascinating? Because oftentimes they'll have a glass of wine with lunch.
So wait. You're also saying these cars are what drunk people drive? Is that where you're getting at?
Well,
oh God.
Probably in the sense of...
what was your point of saying the glass of wine with lunch?
Because I think there are a lot of DUIs and stuff being handed out there. People are losing their licenses. And if you're like, well, shit, now I can't drive because that's my third strike. I do love a tipple. It's like, well, now I can just get in this car. It can't go that fast. And
I'm sorry, if you're drunk going 27 and you hit someone, they're going to die.
Not in this car. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's a good point. I'm just joking. It's just like an interesting loophole over there.
Did they address this particular drinking loophole in the show?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. But also for, families where they need the kids out there getting stuff, living in little farm towns or whatever, they can. It's interesting.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. That really is interesting.
Yep.
You surprise me.
Okay, well, this was fun.
Oh, yeah.
I love doing this podcast with you.
Cool.
Okay. Good night.
I'd love it too. Good night.